It was 15 years ago, back when I was in elementary school. April had just arrived and we had a class shuffle. Our new teacher was a young woman. When lunchtime came, she turned to the girl sitting next to me and said, "Katie, you haven't paid your lunch fee, so don't eat, okay?" Katie, always wearing ragged clothes, was a skinny little girl. Her family was poor, and since the previous fall, her parents hadn't been paying the school lunch fee. I overheard some gossip and learned that she had been allowed to eat lunch the year before. Seeing her sitting there with no food on her desk, looking down, made me feel sorry for her. Since the teacher ate lunch in the same room, I couldn't secretly share my food with her. Instead, I left just the bread, wrapped it in a napkin, hid it in my desk, and gave it to Katie after lunch when the teacher left the room. "You can eat this," I said. "Really? Thank you, Jason," Katie replied. Back then, I was an outcast with no friends in the same class, but after that incident, I started talking to Katie. When I got home that day, I told my mom about Katie's situation. "Mom, please, can you make a packed lunch for Katie?" My mom responded, "That poor child. If she can't eat lunch, it won't be good for her growth, and she probably can't concentrate on her studies when she's hungry. It's fine. I'm already making your dad's lunch every day, so adding one more portion won't make much difference." With that, she gladly agreed. The next day at lunch, I handed over the homemade lunch my mom had made. Katie's eyes widened in surprise. "My mom said to give this to you. Is this a packed lunch?" "Yeah, I told her about you, and she said to give it to you." "Really? Thank you, Jason." She hurriedly ate the lunch before the teacher returned. It turned out that Katie's house was in the same direction as mine, so from that day on, we decided to walk home together. While walking, Katie told me about her life. "My dad doesn't work, he spends all our money on slot machines and horse races. My mom earns the money, but my dad takes it all. Because of this, they were struggling and even in debt." Seeing her in the same tattered clothes every day, I felt sorry for her. Our classmates just watched her from a distance. Neither of us had friends. After that, we started meeting up in the morning and going to school together. Some classmates teased us, saying, "Are you two dating or something?" But we tried not to let it bother us. I had always been bad at talking to people, but for some reason, I felt at ease talking to Katie. I didn't realize it, but I was lonelier than I thought. Not having any friends, I was really happy to be able to talk to her. On our way to and from school, we talked about many things: our families, our favorite foods and animals, homework, and TV shows we watched the previous night. I found out she loves cats. She couldn't have one at her house but enjoyed visiting the nearby park where stray cats often gather. "My family has a cat. Want to come over and see it?" "Really? Sure." When I brought her to my house after school that day, my mom warmly welcomed her. When our mixed breed cat showed up, Katie's eyes sparkled with delight. "How cute. What's its name?" "It's Mary. Mary, come here." Katie looked so happy cuddling the cat, playing with toys, and feeding it treats. Seeing her radiant smile, which she didn't show at school, made me happy too. In the blink of an eye, it was evening, and my mom prepared dinner for Katie as well. "Katie, can you give me your home phone number? I'll call your folks and let them know you're here." With that, my mom called her house. During the call, she seemed deeply engrossed in the conversation. After that day, Katie began having dinner at our house every night. Apparently, her mom often worked late, and her dad, who was at home, didn't do any housework. As a result, their dinner time was always late. With her parents' permission, my mom started looking after her meals. After school, Katie and I would do her homework and play with the cat until dinner. However, about a year into this routine, Katie had to move. Her parents divorced, and she decided to go with her mom to live with her maternal grandparents in Texas. Before they left, Katie and her mom came over to say goodbye. "I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for Katie. We'll never forget your kindness," her mother said, bowing to my mom. "Oh, please, it's okay. Please raise your head. We help each other out during tough times. Don't give it another thought," my mom replied. She was a person of strong principles and kindness, and I have tremendous respect for her. I can't recall the conversation I had with Katie that day, but I haven't seen her since. We exchanged Christmas cards every year, but that also ceased after 5 to 6 years. Then I graduated from college and started working at a precision machinery manufacturer. I was assigned to sales, and it's been 3 years now. Taking over clients from seniors and establishing new ones, I now handle numerous major accounts. "Good morning, Jason." My colleague Mike from the next desk greeted me. "Good morning. Tomorrow we've got a meeting with AB Electronics. It's a big deal that's vital for the company. You pumped and prepared? Yes, I'll have it ready for review later. As we talked, a secretary called out to Mike. Mike, there's a call for you from AB Electronics. Picking up the phone, Mike's face turned pale rapidly. What? How could this? Yes, I see. I'm terribly sorry. Right away, please can you give us one more chance? Wait, hold on. After hanging up, he just stared blankly, still holding the phone. What happened? I asked. Turning to me, he said, Jason, you gave the wrong time to AB Electronics for our meeting, didn't you? They thought the meeting was yesterday. They're furious that we stood them up. This deal is toast. It's your fault. What? But wasn't it you who communicated the schedule to them? What are you trying to pin this on me? I wanted to throw his words right back at him. To begin with, I hadn't communicated the schedule to the client at all. Mike had arranged the schedule and then informed me about it later, and yet he was trying to blame it on me. Mike reported the matter to his boss, and our supervisor Johnson went to apologize on his behalf. However, they wouldn't listen, and in the end, the deal with AB Electronics fell through. When Johnson returned, he said to me, Jason, what have you done? Because of you, the crucial deal we staked our company's future on has been ruined. How are you going to make this right? But sir, it wasn't me who informed them about the schedule. It was Mike. Enough. No excuses. You've caused harm to the company. Maybe you should consider resigning. That's something Johnson always says when he's angry. Wait, I really don't want to quit. Then bring in a contract worth the same amount as the machine we were going to sell to AB Electronics within 3 days, or you're fired. How could I possibly secure such a deal in just 3 days? I was at a loss for words after hearing Johnson's ultimatum, but then I remembered something. There was a client who was currently considering purchasing the same machine we were planning to sell to AB Electronics. They always tried to haggle the price down, constantly negotiating for discounts. I'd almost given up, thinking they had no intention of buying, but now I had to somehow close the deal with them. I quickly revised the quotation and set an appointment with the client. Upon arriving at their company, a man named Kevin assisted me. I've brought a new quotation today, I said, handing him the quote. Kevin scrutinized it. Can't you go a little lower? I really can't go any lower. We've adjusted the price several times already, I pleaded, putting on a distressed look. Please, Kevin, I'm sure our equipment will be very beneficial to your company. We'll even include regular maintenance. Kevin pondered, crossing his arms. I get what you're saying, but at this price, my superiors might not approve. I personally want to purchase it, but how about I explain the benefits directly to your boss, maybe over a meal or something? That might be difficult. My boss is pretty busy. I'm begging you, Kevin. Please just give me a chance to discuss it over dinner. I pleaded desperately. The machine sells for tens of thousands of dollars. For our company, the cost of a dinner would be insignificant compared to the sale. All right, but my boss is out right now. I'll get back to you another day. That's fine, thank you so much. Kevin saw me out of the conference room. Just then, the elevator opened and an older man entered the office. Supervisor, I wanted to see you. Do you have a moment? Seeing him, Kevin immediately approached. So this is Kevin's superior, I thought. Kevin explained the situation to the supervisor, but to my surprise, the supervisor began to shout angrily. Trying to win us over with a dinner? We've told you countless times if we can't afford it, we can't buy it. If you can't offer a better price, then just leave and don't come back. Did I do something so wrong to be yelled at like this? While I was still in shock, Kevin whispered to me as he nudged me towards the exit. I'm sorry, he is just in a bad mood today. He always lashes out like this when he's upset. It seems the supervisor is quite a difficult character. But without his approval, we won't be able to finalize the deal. If I don't land this contract, I'm going to lose my job. What should I do? As I was racking my brain, I heard the sound of heels clicking down the hallway. Wait, supervisor. I turned around to the sound of a young woman's voice. There stood a beautiful woman in a business suit. Watson, what's up? She quickly approached the puzzled-looking supervisor. I've reviewed the documents too, and I believe that equipment from that company would be valuable for us. Please consider purchasing it. She looked straight into the supervisor's eyes as she spoke. Well, if you say so, Watson. Kevin, move forward with the contract process right away. Supervisor then turned to me and said, That's what I was saying. I was absolutely gobsmacked for a moment. I had no idea what had just happened. So you're saying you'll make the purchase? Yes. Jason can't say no when the boss's daughter asks now, can we? Boss's daughter? As I looked at her, she smiled and said, Jason, long time no see. Don't you remember me? Even though she said that, I didn't recall knowing any Watson. But as I continued to gaze into her face, it felt somewhat familiar. Wait, who are you again? I asked. She spoke up again. Do you remember me as Katie? Katie. Oh, I realized she was talking about the same Katie I used to walk to and from school with and hang out with at my place during grade school. She had changed so much I didn't recognize her. Wow, it's been like 15 years, hasn't it? Yeah, so nostalgic. I saw your name on the business card attached to the documents and thought it might be you. Really? But Watson. Actually, my mom remarried when I was in high school, and I took on the name Watson. Wow, really? Hey Jason, instead of just standing here chatting, want to go out for a drink tonight? Sure, sounds good. Katie and I exchanged contact info and planned to meet for drinks after work. When I got back to the office and reported the good news, my supervisor was taken aback. You really got the contract? Yes, we haven't signed the papers yet, but we got the green light. Great job, Jason. Supervisor was thrilled. Looking over at my colleague, Mike, he seemed uneasy at his desk. After wrapping up work for the day and heading to the bar for our meetup, I found Katie already waiting. Thanks for today. You saved me. I didn't get fired because of you. What are you talking about? As I filled her in, she was sympathetic. It's terrible for a senior to put the blame on a junior like that, huh? Well, thanks to you, the deal went through, so I'm really grateful. Seriously, thanks. Upon hearing my gratitude, Katie shyly smiled. I'm honored I could help. To be honest, I've always been grateful to you for everything. We lost touch after I moved, but I'm glad we could reconnect like this. According to Katie's story, when she was in high school, her mother divorced and began dating the man who was then the manager of the office where she worked. They eventually got married. However, a few years later, Katie's stepfather's father, the CEO of the New York headquarters, retired, and Katie's stepfather had to take over his position. Their whole family moved to the city. You could have let me know when you moved back. Sorry, but weren't you the one who stopped replying to my New Year's cards first, Jason? Did I? Yes, so I thought maybe you found a girlfriend and I didn't want to intrude. Turns out I never did get a girlfriend. Really? No girlfriend? Nope, none. Well, maybe our meeting here is fate. If you're okay with it, would you like to date me? I was taken aback by her sudden confession and was rendered speechless for a moment, but it wasn't that I disliked the idea. I was actually really happy. Back in elementary school, being around her always made me happy, and whenever she laughed, I felt joy. I remembered that feeling. Of course, I'd love to. I extended my right hand to her, and she gently took it. Really? I'm so happy. This is how we started dating. 2 years later, I proposed, and we got married. Mary, dinner's ready, Katie called, and our cat responded with a soft meow. Seeing her play with our cat, she seemed just like old times. Katie had faced many challenges growing up, but from now on, I wanted to be by her side and make her happy.